guys, it's Ty and welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to go ahead and talk about my summer TBR, which I guess it would be my summer wrap up. But while I am talking about the books that I read on my summer TBR, I wanted to do that while I did the one chip challenge, which I didn't actually know that people were still doing. I was actually scrolling on my Instagram feed and I saw that somebody had actually done it recently, and I was like, people are still doing this. So I went on Amazon and actually decided to order the Packy one chip challenge, I guess, this thing. So I went ahead and decided, let me go ahead and try this. So I decided to try this as I go through my summer wrap up, and let's see how far I get. So while I open this up, I will go ahead and talk about what I was supposed to be doing for my summer wrap up, because let me tell you, it did not go well. So I was supposed to go ahead and finish up the Mistborn trilogy, which I did because I only had the third book to finish. And then I wanted to go ahead and finish up, no, I wanted to try to start and finish the Red Rising series. That didn't go well. And then I wanted to complete, I think I said I wanted to complete the Green Creek series by TJ Klune, because I had read the first book in that series and I had 3 more books to go. I didn't do that either. I only read the next book, so I still have 2 more books to go. And then I think I said I wanted to then start Ember in the Ashes, that quartet, and then I wanted to try and read the first book in the Furyborn series. That didn't happen either. So I got the chip open, or at least the box open. So when you open up the box, it just looks like this. And this says it's supposed to be the Carolina Reaper and the Scorpion Pepper. So it comes in this package. Ooh. I guess there's rules for this. It says, rules for the challenge. Eat the entire chip. Wait as long as possible before drinking or eating anything. And then post your reaction on social media with hashtag one chip challenge and mention Packy chips. Packy? The name. So I'm going to eat the chip. I'm going to tell you guys how it tastes. Then once I eat the chip and let it settle for a second, then I'm going to go ahead and jump into the reviews. And then I guess I hold up this sign. I'll hold it up you'll see it at the end. Maybe. So let's open this sucker up. I'm getting nervous. I don't want to break the chip. Hold on. Well, I can tell you guys right now it don't smell good. Oh, I broke it. Oh, yeah. It just looks like a little tortilla chip. I just broke a piece of it off. I'm just gonna eat the whole thing. I can tell you right now, it's nasty. It's hot. Oh, if you hear somebody in the back, if you hear somebody in the background laughing, it's my mom.
Where's even?
I can't. So, so, wait a minute. Oh, shoot.
Getting hotter?
I can't wait. It's so hot. I'm trying to.
Oh my God.
Oh, I'm trying. I can't.
You can make it.
Oh, I cannot. I cannot eat any more of that chip. Oh. I feel like my soul has left my body. Wait.
Is it getting hotter?
I don't know what's happening. Let me compose myself, y'all. Can you turn that fan on? Okay. I'm so hot. Woo. Okay, so, oh, Jesus Christ. Sorry, you're gonna have to hear my fan in the background, because I can't. This was the worst idea.
Hey, it made your eyes red.
Okay, so. Fury Born by Claire Legrand. Y'all. I didn't get a chance to finish it. I mean, no, I didn't even start it. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay, okay. I got it. Woo, okay.
1 hour later.
Hey. So, I died and came back. So, what had happened was, I tried to do this challenge, and y'all, it took me out. So, I was told that when you do stuff like this, you're supposed to drink milk instead of water. But in my case, I think the milk almost took me out, because at one point, I think the milk started curdling in my stomach. and I had this really bad, like, cramping in my stomach all of a sudden, and that's where I had to cut the filming. And I think you guys could hear in the background, my mom was like, yeah, I think you need to cut it off. So I decided to cut it off, and I'm back now, and I was defeated. So the chip, you're supposed to eat the whole thing, but I was only able to eat like the corner of the chip. That's all I got. That's all I needed to get. I don't know who can eat this whole thing. It's nasty for one, and it was hot.
Hella hot.
Really hot. And then when you eat it and you inhale, it gets hotter. So, and then I burped and it got hot. I was like, no, I couldn't do it. So I failed. Like, I just inhaled then, and it's lingering. And then there was a sign. I lost my sign. There's a sign you're supposed to hold up. Oh, I lost it. It says, I destroyed the Packy 2021 One Chip Challenge. No, it destroyed me. It destroyed me. So, that's that. I tried and I failed. So, we're going to continue with my summer wrap up and what I was trying to tell you guys. So first up, here is Fury Born by Claire Legrand. This was one of the books that I was supposed to try and start this summer, and I did not get to it. So it's still one of the series that I'm trying to get to at some point. I'm not sure if I will get to it by the end of this year, but I'm still really interested in it, and I will get to this eventually. Now, this next one, I did attempt to read it, and I really hate it because I started it and I did not like it. And it sucks because I actually bought the entire series, and I think I'm gonna have to unhaul it. And that is Red Rising by by Pierce Brown. And I actually was able to get, I think, 33% of the way in before I had to put this down. And this is a beloved series here on BookTube, and I bought the entire series because for some reason I just knew I was gonna love this, and I did not like this at all. And this is the first book in an adult science fiction series. So this book follows our main character, Darrow, and he lives on the planet Mars. And in this world, the society is broken up into different classes, and each class is based off of a different color. And the highest class is the golds, and then the lower class is the reds. And in the reds, it is broken up into subclasses. And Darrow is actually in the lower subclass of the reds. And in his subclass, it is his job to basically make Mars habitable for the other colors to be able to live on the planet Mars. And at the beginning of the story, a situation happens where he is able to learn that there is more going on with the other classes than he was led to believe. And the story kind of takes off from there. And like I said in the beginning, this is a really beloved series here on BookTube. And I thought this was going to be something that I was going to love. And unfortunately, it was not. I was able to get about, I want to say maybe about 100 pages or so into the story before I decided to put it down. I just could not get into the story at all. I just felt like it was taking me a long time to get invested into the story. I wasn't invested in any of the characters. I didn't really care about anything that was going on. I just kind of felt like this was one of those stories where you were kind of thrown in and you didn't get any explanation about what was going on. I know there are some stories where you're just kind of thrown into the story and you get explanations later. But this one, you're thrown in and no explanations come. But then again, I do understand I DNF'd it. So maybe explanations came and I was impatient and didn't wait for it. But I just wasn't interested. And there was just points in this story where I would like read 10 pages and it felt like I had read 30. And I was like, why is this taking me so long to read? And I just wasn't interested. And it sucks because, like I said, I bought the whole series already and now I have to DNF it. And now I have to get rid of 3 books instead of 1. And I keep telling myself I'm not going to do that. And I do it every time. So that's that. So I did say I wanted to go ahead and complete the Mistborn trilogy, which I did. And that is The Hero of Ages, which is book 3 in the Mistborn trilogy. And I'm not going to go into too much detail about it because it is the 3rd book in the Mistborn trilogy, like I just said. And I don't want to spoil too much in case there are people who haven't read the trilogy. But I did end up giving this book 4 stars. I will say the 2nd book was my favorite out of the trilogy. I gave that one 5 stars. But this one I still really enjoyed. I will say it took me about 100 pages or so before I was fully invested in it. But this one, let me just say, like, towards the end of the story, some things happened that had me shook. And if you know, you know. But I really enjoyed this one. There's a couple of things that I do want to mention. I can really appreciate how some of these characters really shined in this book. And Spook, our side character from the other 2 books, really got a lot of page time in this book. And I was here for it. For one, I forgot all about him because he, like I said, he was a side character. And when he got promoted to full-time character in this one, I was like, really? Spook? Out of all the characters you chose, he's going to be one of the main characters in this one? Really? I was here for that too. So I really like that. And then Sazed's character arc in this one, loved that. I loved how he was just dealing with trying to figure out how he turned into an atheist in this one. Sazed, our beloved Sazed, who was trying to teach everyone about religions throughout this whole entire series, decides that he wants to become an atheist. Like, what? And then everything that we just learned about the magic and how Sanderson just continues to blow our minds with just adding on to the magic system. I just could not wrap my head around how you can continue to just give us new information and then add on to information. And this, this is one of those series where I feel like I have to go back and reread the entire series to pick up on everything that I did not pick up on the first time around. Because this was the series, the conclusion to this one, all the revelations in this book, the entire time when I was reading this, my reaction to everything was, oh, it all makes sense. Oh, I never picked up on that. And I just want to reread everything to see everything that I missed and see if I can just pick up on everything that Sanderson just had in front of our faces the entire time. So I just love the series. I didn't think I was going to like it as much because this is one of those series that has been hyped so much and everybody seems to really, well, not everybody, but majority of people seem to really love this, and I just didn't know if I was going to be one of those people that was going to love it, but I love this. Again, wasn't my favorite in the series. The second one will forever be my favorite because, listen, a lot of things happened in that second book that I just will forever love. But this was still good. I do think the ending could have been done a little bit better. And the revelation of who the hero of ages actually was, you know, don't know how I feel about that. But this, if you have not picked up the series, or you're hesitant about it, or you think it's too hyped and you don't want to read it, I would still say give this one a try. Please give this a try. So the next one that I went ahead and picked up was The Ember and the Ashes by Saba Tahir. And this is a young adult dystopian, I think, fantasy book. And this is an older series. And I believe when this originally came out, it was supposed to be just a duology. And then the last 2 books in the series had been published within the last couple of years. And so I finally decided to pick this up, and I'm happy that I did. I ended up giving this a 4 stars, and I'm mad at myself that I'm just now getting to this, but I really enjoyed this. And so this is actually the story of our main character, Laya, and it's told between 2 perspectives, but it's primarily about Laya. And she lives in this world where it is run primarily by the Empire, I believe. And she is part of the Scholars, and her brother has been arrested for treason. And so she's trying to work to get her brother back. And so she is working with this group called the Resistance, who is trying to take the Empire down. And so by working with them, she is going undercover as a spy to try to get her brother out of jail. And so when she works as a spy, they send her in to work as a slave girl. And so she goes in, she works as a slave girl to the commander. And so while she's doing that, we're getting the perspective of Elias, who is a student at the Blackcliff Academy who is trying to become a mask. Once he becomes a mask, they start to carry out duties for the Empire. So Laya and Elias ends up crossing paths. Things ensue between them. So she's trying to get her brother out of jail. He's also going through some things with his duties at school. Elias and the students at the Blackcliff Academy have to go through these trials because they're trying to find a new emperor. So there's a lot of things going on in this world, and I freaking love this. And I flew through this book, and I can't believe I just waited so long to read this. And there's like you know how we usually have those love triangles, but there's like a love square thing going on in this one, and there's like a lot of action going on, and the world is so brutal. And when she was going through, or when she was being a slave, being a spy, and she had to be a slave to the commandant, she was going through it, and the way that the commandant was treating her was just so brutal, and the things she was going through, look, I couldn't do it. And I cannot wait to get to the other books. And I was hoping that I would have time to at least read, I think the next one is called A Torch Against the Night, but I didn't have time to read it. But I'm hoping to get to at least the next one here soon. And then the last one that I was able to get to, and this is another one that I was like, oh, I think I'm going to be able to read the entire series, or the entire rest of the series this summer. Nope, I was just only able to get to the next book in the series, and that is Raven Song by T.J. Klune. And this is the second book in the Green Creek series, and in this one, we are following Gordo's story. And I don't think I've ever talked about Wolf Song here on my channel. And let me grab that book. So the first one is Wolf Song. And I'm going to go ahead and just talk about this one real quick, because I've never talked about it ever on this channel. So Wolf Song is following Ox, and in this book, Ox lives in Green Creek, and at the beginning of the story, I want to say he's like 12 maybe, and at the beginning of the story, he's living with his mother and father, and his father ends up leaving his mother and telling Ox that he's never going to be nothing, and everybody's going to give him shit. I believe that's what his father tells him. And he ends up deserting him and his mother and leaves them. And Ox is like this awkward, kid. He's real quiet and just always lonely. And so he ends up getting to know like this family called the Bennetts. And so they kind of like take him in, and he gets to know this little boy by the name of Joe. And Joe gets really attached to Ox. And Ox doesn't really know why. And there's like a really huge age gap in between Ox and Joe. And so they start to grow up together, and Ox starts working at this garage, and so he gets really attached to the owner of the garage by the name of Gordo. And so we're basically following Ox through the years while he's growing up in Green Creek. And this story, that doesn't sound like a lot is happening, but in this town there are werewolves, we have a witch, and we have a lot of magic, and there's a lot of things that are going on in this town. And that's all that I'm gonna say with that. But then in this story, in Raven Song that I read over the summer, we are following basically the same characters, but we are following Gordo from the first book, which was the owner of the garage that Ox worked at. And basically in this series, we are following different characters from the books. So like I said, there's werewolves, there's witches, there's lots of magic. These are adult paranormal romance books, and TJ Klune. So this should be a name that everybody is familiar with right now because this author is popping. So he is the one that wrote The House in the Cerulean Sea. That's the one everybody's reading right now. And he's coming out with Under the Whispering Door, that's coming out in September. So if you guys are interested in that and you have not picked up this series, I would highly recommend that you pick up this series. If you are somebody who enjoyed Twilight, or you didn't like Twilight or wanted a better version of Twilight, or you like Twilight and wanted something similar to Twilight, I would pick up this series. I absolutely love this. I ended up giving, when I read Wolf Song last year, I think I gave that one a 4 stars. I ended up giving Raven Song a 5 stars. Absolutely loved it. And the ending of Raven Song and that epilogue and what we found out at the end of this, I know for sure those last 2 books in the series, which yes, I already have, I know I'm going to finish the end. I'm going to finish the end of this series before we head into next year, for sure. So definitely pick this up. So while the one chip challenge was a fail, I feel like you guys should give me kudos for trying, because I really did try. I died and I came back to life. I had an outer body experience. I sweated my hair out. You know, I tried. I really did. That's all that I can do. I gave it my best. But that is all that I have for you guys. I will see you guys next time. Bye.